Welcome to the Ball Fresh Preserving Test Kitchen for our first ever Cyber Monday event. Technically it's our second event of the day, but the first time that we've ever done an event from our test kitchen on Cyber Monday. So welcome. I'm Jessica, and my co-host today is my buddy Chris.
Hello.
Hi.
All right, so we're here tonight to talk about three things. Number one, holiday jamming and how to make fresh jam and jelly using your automatic jam and jelly maker. Number two, how to do arts and crafts using our favorite ball jars. And number three, to talk about some special offers that we have exclusively tonight on Cyber Monday for you to take advantage of. Now, how are we going to do that? We are going to do it live via Brand Live streaming over the World Wide Web. And for those of you new to Brand Live or webcasts, you need to know three things about how this is going to work tonight. Number one, if your screen size is a little small, if you look down in your lower right-hand side, just under the video picture, it'll say larger video. You can click on that, and it'll bring the image much larger, so you can see Jess and I and all the wonderful things that we're going to do tonight a little bit better. Number two, very important, down again to your lower right, if you look, there's a little Q&A box, and all you need to do if you have questions for Jess and I and any of the folks standing by here tonight in Daleville is type your name, your location, and your question, and then we'll either A, answer it live, or B, answer it live on the web.
Right.
So, those are two. Most important thing though is tonight for our exclusive offers, if you look just below the screen, there's a couple little tabs. Number one is a tab about special deals on freshpreservingstore.com for our automatic jam and jelly maker. And number two is some special deals that we have on our quart jars that we'll use for a lot of our arts and crafts project. And so if you click on either one of those, it'll take you right to freshpreservingstore.com. We'll tell you about what those specials are later, but that'll take you right there. Easy as 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, let's get to the most important thing at hand, which is food.
Right.
This is my favorite time of year because I love to eat. Anybody around the office knows that I am always eating. It's one of my favorite parts of working around here in the test kitchen is sampling all the delicious fresh made goods. I personally set a record for the amount of turkey that I consumed on Thursday. I was very proud of myself. But I'm also proud of us, and I'm proud of you, because we have also had our best fresh preserving season ever.
Awesome.
So in as much as I'm thankful for friends and family and sharing, I'm thankful for the season that we've had. I'm thankful for you sharing your passion for fresh foods that you make yourself with all your friends and family. It's very exciting. Now, friends and family, 'tis the season means holiday gift giving, right?
It does.
Our friend Jessica has cracked the code on what to do during this holiday gift season. And what is the secret?
The secret is I'm going to use my automatic jam and jelly maker. This is going to happen this year. I was talking to Chris earlier today, and if you tuned in earlier today, you also would know that I've been really struggling trying to figure out what to make for my mom and my brother to get them for Christmas. And their birthdays are so close to the holidays that I have to buy double the gifts. It's super frustrating for me. I'm really busy. I have no time. And then I just thought one day, I was like, why don't I just use the jam and jelly maker? It's here in the office. I use it all the time. I show people how to use it all the time. I might as well use it too and make some gifts for everyone. And don't tell them, and hopefully they're not tuning in. They probably are. But if they're not, don't tell them, because they're going to get jam for Christmas this year.
Nothing says gift giving with a personal touch, like personalized food that you make yourself, right in your own kitchen. Right? And we're going to do a lot of that tonight, plus a lot of arts and crafts tonight.
We are.
Which is fantastic.
So actually, our jam, we're actually making jelly tonight, and we're making Chris's favorite.
My personal favorite, pepper jelly. So love this. When I go to holiday parties, I see it out, the little block of cream cheese, the crackers, the pepper jelly. Literally guard your stock if you see me at a party and you put that on the table, because I will go to that table and I will consume every last bit of that. And so I'm excited for us to make this tonight, because you'll see just how easy it is to do it with a homemade touch, using your own fresh ingredients, made right here in less than 30 minutes in our automatic jam and jelly maker.
And it's so easy, even he can do it.
That's right.
So what we're going to do, actually remove the lid, is go ahead and make sure that the unit's on. I don't know if you can see this or not, but the lights are actually flashing that it's on. We already have our ingredients pre-measured, pre-cut, and all of our recipes are located in the recipe booklet that's provided with the Ball Fresh Tech Automatic Jam and Jelly Maker. So we're going to do the reduced sugar variation. There's a traditional recipe and a reduced sugar. I prefer the reduced sugar. that's what we're going to do. So
right.
super simple. I'm going to have Chris go ahead and pour in the ingredients just to show how easy it is.
All right, so what do we have here? First,
Green
Jess?
peppers.
So our green peppers.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to spread them out around the pot a little bit.
Pour them around evenly, and there we go. Lovely.
Here we go.
And then we have our jalapeno peppers. Now, when you prepare these, you want to make sure that you wear gloves. We certainly don't want anyone crying when they're making their jam. It's super simple. We don't need anyone tearing up over this. So you don't want to burn your fingers, burn your eyes. Make sure you wear gloves on that. Next, we're going to add our cider vinegar. You just pour that on in. Yep. Splendid. Then our pectin. And so all of the recipes that are included in our booklet here use our Ball Flex Batch Classic Pectin.
Say that 3 times fast.
It's too difficult to do so. So all the recipes are using that particular pectin. Now we do have recipes using our low or no sugar pectin available on freshpreserving.com. So that's my personal favorite type of pectin. So if that's something that you're interested in, I highly recommend checking that out on our Fresh Preserving website. So something to think about. Now the last step of our little adventure here is adding just a teeny bit of butter. There we go.
There we go.
Done. So I know what the butter's for. Most of you probably know, and I always just ask him because I think it's fun. What's the butter for?
So the butter is used to keep the product from foaming a lot. If anybody's made their own fresh jams and jellies, you know you can get a little bit of foam. And so when we talk about what goes on at the end of this and how we store our fresh jams or jellies, adding a little pat of butter is going to save you a step or two and a little bit of time. And using the automatic jam and jelly maker is always about saving a little bit of time in the kitchen.
Right. So watch the amazement here.
So
we're going to make a jelly today. So Chris is going to press the button front that says jelly. Actually move some of that.
Press the jelly button.
All right. And then this recipe, actually, it will default to 25 minutes. This recipe only requires cooking for 21 minutes. So he's going to hit the minus button, attempt to hit the minus button down to 21. And actually, you should be able to see this, but our stirrer has started to kind of combine all the ingredients, and it'll continue to do so for 4 minutes, at which time we'll hear a beep, and then we'll do the next step.
That's right. Now, let's talk a little bit about the technologies that's in this box, because it's the technology that makes this so simple, right? Jess mentioned it's simple enough that I can do it. My wife made jam last week, strawberry jam, fresh strawberry jam for the holidays, with our little daughter, Eleanor. She's 4, and it's so easy that even Eleanor can do it, right? Or I should say even Dad can do it. And what the technology is that helps us do that is Smart Stir technology, right? So this was engineered right here in Daleville, Indiana.
Our office.
Made and designed right here. And it's important to note when you'll see the little stirring device, you'll see a couple little fins. These get right down near the bottom of the pot, and what they help do is lift and fold the ingredients. So when you first dump these in, you'll notice that I didn't even sort these around perfectly, right? You don't have to move those around with a spoon or anything to get it just so. Perfection is not a part of the game here, right? It's about ease.
Right.
And so this stirring technology, the Smart Stir technology, will eventually, as the pot warms up, begin to fold all these ingredients together for you, right? Takes all that monitoring and tending and stirring out of your hands and puts it in the hands of Smart Stir.
Right.
It makes it just that easy. Right.
It is. And you may see it looks kind of like it might be clumped up right now, but don't worry. As it starts to go around and around and start to get warm and heat up, you're going to see it actually folding and combining. And what that'll do for you is get you great tasting jams and jellies the first time, the 25th time, the 50th time, the 100th time. Every single time you make jam or jelly in our appliance, you're going to have wonderful jams and jellies.
That's exactly right. So you get the Smart Stir technology, right? Comes with a pot. Now, Jess, talk about the favorite feature of this particular pot.
My favorite feature is that it's dishwasher safe. As I mentioned before, I'm way too busy to be trying to wash things and everything else. So I can throw this in the dishwasher. I can also throw the stir in the dishwasher.
That's right.
And I can throw the lid in the dishwasher. So that makes me very, very happy.
That's right. So you get the pot, you get the base. This is the power of the unit. This is the heat of the unit. This is what actually turns the Smart Stir technology round and round. You get the lid, and most importantly, you get the recipe and guidebook. Right? What's inside this recipe and guidebook? You get 10 core recipes. Right? You get your basics: strawberry jam, grape jelly. There's a couple fun twists in here, like mixed berries. So in here with the fun twist, you're talking about 16 different recipes.
Right.
Lots of fun. But that's not all. If you go to freshpreserving.com, we've actually uploaded 18 new recipes just today, just in time for the holidays, just in time for this offer. to make this even more fun. And I had to talk about 3 of my favorites that we just uploaded. They're perfect for this season, right? Number 1, champagne blush jelly, right? So you talk about New Year's Eve,
Sounds
talk about
fancy.
throwing that party, right? Instead of pepper jelly with cream cheese and crackers, how about a little champagne blush jelly, cream cheese and crackers,
Why
right?
not?
Just in time. A couple of other ones that I have to mention out there: chocolate raspberry sauce.
Oh.
Holidays, a little decadent, a little rich, a little fun. Sounds tasty. And then the final one, cranberry orange pear jam. Again, cranberries. Love cranberries for Thanksgiving, love them for Christmas. Can't get enough cranberries at this time. And here's a new recipe that we've got. So lots of fun recipes. We're talking about over 34 different recipes that we've got online, not counting the low
No sugar, right? We have those on there as well. But you didn't mention my favorite, pina colada.
Pina colada, that's right.
Awesome. We tested them in the office, and let me tell you, it was delicious. So
Lots
thank you, whoever
of great
submitted that
new
one.
recipes. Exactly, right? So lots of fun to be had with our automatic jam and jelly maker
Right.
when you check out our great deals.
Hold on.
Right at the buzzer. One more minute and we'll talk about our great deals.
Right.
So what's next?
It's sugar time.
Sugar time. This is our favorite time.
Right. So Chris is going to go ahead and pour this in, and as you'll see, the Smart Stir technology is going to go ahead and mix that all and just wrap it all together. This is again the low sugar recipe. Get that in there. Splendid. Awesome. And so we're going to go ahead and put the lid on now at this time for this particular recipe. And I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not, but there are vent holes around the lid.
That's right.
And so that's going to help, just keep the air flowing in there. Also, the best part about it is the aroma that comes out. It's going to make your house smell amazing. So we're here now. And
Well, let's talk about smell. So a question has come up, right?
Right.
And we talked about great deals, so I'm going to get back to the great
Right.
deals. But I think it's important to note, talked about making this with your children, which we did in our house, and it was fun. Be careful though, right? The outside of the pot is going to get a little bit warm to the touch, right? The handles will get a little bit warm to the touch. Not super hot, but you always want to supervise kids
Right.
anytime you're in and around this product, right? You'll see the steam start to condense because this will bring your product up to boil.
Yeah,
right?
it'll definitely get pretty hot, and it gets hot pretty quickly too. So definitely parents, if this is something you're going to do with your children, you want to stay close by for 2 reasons: to watch them, and 2, to hear. You want to be in earshot of that beep. So you probably heard that when it was sugar time. So 2 things to kind of
right.
keep in mind.
I'll tell you, when Emerson and Everett came home from school and smelled that strawberry jam, couldn't believe it, right? Mom, what is that, right? So it's out. Unbelievable.
Delicious.
Now let's get back to the deals real quick.
They're also unbelievable.
What are the deals tonight that we have for this? So normally, automatic jam and jelly maker, $99.95. On freshpreservingstore.com tonight, $89.95. Plus, we're going to throw in a free copy of the Ball Blue Book. Over 260 different recipes for how to take your fresh garden produce, your fresh produce from the farmer's market, your fresh produce from your local grocery store, and turn that into wonderful homemade goods for you and your family.
There's so many recipes in here, and there's water bath recipes, and pressure canning, and dehydrating, and freezing, and there's just so much information in here. And if you visit our Facebook page, Ball Canning and Recipes, you'll see a lot of our avid consumers in our canning community out there always talking about how important this particular book is. And this is, if you have any friends who are getting interested in canning, or maybe you're new to this yourself, this is the book that you want to have. It will tell you everything you need to know, the science behind it, fun recipes, how to use some of those recipes,
Right.
and additional recipes. So it's a really great resource to have, and something you want to always keep up to date and look at all the time.
It is all right here in the Ball Blue
Right.
Book. Now, on to the fun stuff. And speaking about where it all is, at freshpreserving.com, all the crafts that we're about to do, you'll find right there on that page,
Right.
plus a lot more.
That's correct.
For more inspiration on crafts, which is where we get a lot of our inspiration,
Right.
check out facebook.com/ballcanning, or check out pinterest.com/ballcanning. Find us there and you'll find a world of ideas. We picked our 3 favorites to do tonight using our ball quart jars. And the reason we picked our ball quart jars is because if you go to freshpreservingstore.com tonight to order quart jars, you get free shipping on that.
Free.
So it'll help you out with all your holiday crafting ideas.
And I like free. I like dishwasher safe, and I like free. So this is my kind of evening.
So let's start with our first craft.
Let's do that.
All
So
right.
the first craft is our candy striper jar. And basically all you need for this particular craft, your quart jars. They could be wide mouth, regular mouth. It doesn't matter, whichever you prefer. And actually, any size jar is going to be just fine for this craft. Masking tape. Yep, we've got some. He's got his goodie basket here. So masking tape, glass paint, paintbrush. Do you have a paintbrush there?
I have a paintbrush.
Yep, we got a paintbrush, and then masking tape, and then candy if you want to fill it with candy or whatever else, other embellishments. So what we start off with is a jar that Chris put some masking tape on.
Some masking tape on. We painted it up. Quite easy.
Right. So you can do some alternating colors, have a little fun with it. You know, make it your own, have some fun. So once that's completed and the paint has dried, you can go ahead and remove the tape, which Chris is going to attempt to do right now.
And find where it stops.
Right. Live. Pressure's on, Chris.
Pressure's on. All right, so one of the fun things that we're going to do tonight is we're going to do jar zooming, which we didn't do this morning, but a lot of folks asked us to zoom in a little closer. So I am going to come as close as I can to show you how this works.
Right, to our stationary camera. So bear with us on this one. But as you can see, as Chris gets a little closer, you can kind of see where it's clear where the masking tape has actually come off from the jar. So that's going to give you an opportunity to see what's inside of the jar, hence the candy striper. So that's kind of the look that you get there. And here's a completed jar that we have. So we did the red and green and white for the holidays. And then we have mints in here. We put a little embellishment on the top, kind of like a handle to open it up. You know, you can give this as a gift. You can use it for some decor in your own home.
Right. Now, I rave about my kids. Can't help it. Teachers' gifts, right? 'Tis the season. So one of the great things in our school districts is our teachers send home a little note with their favorite things, so we know what their favorite candy is. And so you can take your ball crafted jar that you can have your kids help paint, right? Because you taped it up, kid-proof, put it on there, put the candy inside, and then have your kids present that wonderful homemade gift to their teachers, and the smiles on their little faces when they do something that's homemade for their teachers, priceless.
Right. And if you have younger children, maybe you don't want them getting into the paint or making a big mess, another option would be to go ahead and use wrapping ribbon. Everyone has some wrapping ribbon sitting around the house this time of year, so we'll let Chris walk up there and kind of show off this particular jar. We went with the blue and white decor on that one with a little sparkly bow. I think you're going to zoom in. There you go. And actually you'll find that the ribbon with the wire in it's going to be probably the best for something like this because you can poof it out and have a little fun with it. We have some glitter on ours, so if you see glitter all over us today, if we're sparkly, that's the reason. But this is a great way to get the younger kids involved too and still have something that's fun and decorative and they can be proud of that they made themselves. So just a different variation on the candy striper jar. So pretty simple, good, clean, fun. And all these again can be found on freshpreserving.com. So if we didn't mention something and you'd like to know a little bit more about it, certainly feel free to hop out there and take a look at that. And the next project is one of his favorites. It is our Starry Night Luminary jar.
The luminary jar, right? This is my personal favorite because I get to use spray paint, right? And spray paint makes my friend Jess here a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get blue paint all over me. I have the cap on, but it still makes me nervous.
Now what Jess knows about me is I'm about safety first, right? And I would never spray my spray paint indoors, nor would I spray it in a closed garage, right? You gotta keep that door open. You always want to use your spray paints in a well-ventilated area.
Right.
But the first step really is apply that base layer of paint on your ball jar.
Right,
And we'll
so
zoom this
Chris
in a
is
little
gonna move
closer.
in. Just blue, just plain blue jar, pretty simple. Once that's all dried, then the next step is we actually have some star stickers. It's a Starry Night Luminary, so we have our star stickers hidden somewhere. This is Chris's big job right now. He's going to put stickers all over this jar, and my personal preference is to cover it in stars. You'll understand why here in a little bit, but the more stars, I personally think, the better. So while he goes to work on that, kind of give you an idea. I don't think we need to zoom in for some sticker time.
I don't think we need to zoom in for sticker time.
Nah. So then,
Just
stickers. Pretty simple. Again, once it's painted and dry, it's another great thing that your children can do with you. So they can put stickers on the jar. Then, we're going to spray paint the sticker jar with silver paint.
Round two.
Round two. So again, once dry, I'm going to give that to you.
Yep.
Once dry, you can actually start to remove those stickers. And we have a few that have been removed, and Chris may try to pull some
So
off
what
again.
you can see is the sticker right here, right, that it's been painted over. And I will try and pull one of those off of there
Yeah, we're gonna.
and show you
We
how
did
that
this
looks.
earlier, so kind of bear with us if they're kind of tacked on there. But as he does that, so basically what you're going to wind up with is a jar that has stars. Where, you know, wherever you put the stickers, you're going to have the blue star shining through the silver. We also went ahead, oh, we get one?
There's a little blue star right there.
There we go.
Now be careful as you take these off, right, because you can get to that underneath paint.
Yeah, you got to be a little careful. So, and we've got a couple here that need a little TLC, but that's okay. So, again, we went with, you know, our glittery fun ribbon with the wire in it to kind of, you know, spruce it up a little bit and make it a little fun. Now, this is where Chris gets all
The
into
most
the
fun
project.
part, right? One of my favorite holiday traditions is when you see the little candles in the windows, right? I love the lights. Here's a way to bring light indoors using your own favorite bulb jars.
Right.
So let's talk about that.
Let's do. So we purchased a votive,
Mm-hmm.
and we took it, well, we've got a little trick for you for
That's right.
purchasing the perfect votive while shopping. That's a lot, gosh. Everything we say tonight is difficult. So, go to the store, and what are we going to take with us?
We are going to bring our canning ring,
We are.
right? Because I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you what's going on here.
Right, so you bring the ring.
So you bring the ring because you're going to take this little votive and you're going to set it on top of a jar without a lid. So you've got the ring screwed on the top and the votive holder goes right there. And so to get the right size at the store, you're going to want to bring your canning ring.
Yes, bring your ring. Bring your ring. So that'll help you. Throw it in your purse, put it in your pocket. You can wear it as a bangle. It's fancy
Sure.
for the holidays.
Go to your candle aisle, find the votive that suits your tastes
Right.
to fit inside the jar, because then, let there be light.
Let there be light. So I have an ornery kitty who likes to get in trouble. So I like to go with the battery operated, and I'm pretty sure that Chris with his children would prefer this method as well. However, if you'd like to use a traditional wax candle, that's also fine. You can do that. And what I was alluding to earlier about the star stickers is if you don't have a votive holder sitting around the house and you don't feel like going shopping or whatever, you can go ahead and place it inside your jar.
That's right.
Whether it is a wax candle or the battery operated. If it's the wax candle, you definitely don't want to leave it unattended. So, be conscious of that. But it would be great on a mantle. You can put this in your front window.
Absolutely.
Why not?
With the electric light.
Well, right, yeah, not the flame. Unless it's outside, like lighting your driveway or
Unless it's
something.
attended.
Right, we don't ever leave a fire unattended. Not a good idea.
Okay.
So we've got a few different ideas, and there's a ton of other ideas also on our Pinterest page
That's right.
as well, which is
Pinterest.com/ball canning. So check it out.
definitely. So you've got our actual website, you've got Pinterest, you can hop on Facebook. All kinds of different things available on different websites. We've got a lot of great consumers who help us out and post a lot of neat pictures
right.
as well. So
Yeah, we've got a fabulous community out there,
Yeah.
very active, sharing recipes, tips, how-tos.
We're very
So it's a
blessed.
wonderful place to go and visit, right?
It is.
Check it out. Now let's visit our last arts and crafts project.
it is our last arts and craft project, and this is probably the simplest of the three that we're going to feature this evening. And this is just our hot cocoa jar. Pretty simple. You take your plain quart-sized jar. Now I am going to recommend that you wash and dry this jar thoroughly before placing your hot cocoa in there. These jars do not come pre-cleaned, so clean them and then make sure they're dry so you don't get crusty cocoa. No one wants crusty cocoa.
That's right.
So, and then what we're going to do is Chris is going to demonstrate how simple it really is with our ball collapsible funnel, which works in both the regular and the wide mouth jars.
That's right.
So simply,
A little favorite hot cocoa. Pour this in, and I'll see how big a mess I can make. Don't fill it all the way to the top,
yeah.
because we want to save a little room.
For my favorite part,
Marshmallows.
marshmallows.
So we've got our little marshmallows here.
Pour those on
Put
it.
those in the top. Very easy. And you just take and put the lid right on.
Yep.
There you go.
Simple. Another project that the kids can help out with.
That's right.
We went ahead and embellished our jar just a little bit further with some scrap, remnant fabric that we had sitting around. Ta-da!
Easy. You put the little lid on first, right? I'll use the smaller jar
Yeah.
just so you can see. Put the lid put the scrap fabric over the top, and then screw the silver band right on top. It's just that easy.
Done. It is just that easy. So when you're doing the hot cocoa, all the different manufacturers have their different, instructions for how to use their particular cocoa. So something
right.
you're going to want to do is...
You are going to want to take note of the directions from your favorite hot cocoa and put it on here, because whomever you gift this to is going to have no idea what to mix and how to mix it, right? So you want to capture that. And use the little gift tags that you get with your presents and your wrapping paper.
Right.
Makes the perfect little tie on, so that people know
To you
how to make
from
that
us.
hot cocoa.
Right. And then we also went ahead and attached a measuring cup on here too, just to make it even simpler since it is a gift. You want to make it as easy as possible for whoever is using it. So, you can go ahead and do some other embellishing, ribbons and whatnot with this. I personally just like to look at the ball logo. I grew up in Muncie. It's kind of a big deal to me, so I take a lot of pride in handing it off like this.
It looks beautiful.
Right.
There you go.
So.
We do a final zoom.
Yeah, zoom in on that.
So you can see the little cloth piece.
Pretty simple. Zoom that on in a little bit more.
Right? You
There
can
we
see
go.
the little tag with the instructions.
All right.
Or I can take it off in the cup.
That works too. Easy
Right.
access. See?
There you go. All right.
So that's 3 different crafts that we have available. They're all pretty simple to do. They're a great. Obviously we were able to kind of just discuss the 3 of these during the time that this was actually cooking. But if you don't want to do crafting, there's plenty of other things you can do while this is still running. You could be like me, and I'm a little bit addicted to Facebook, so I would be on our Facebook page checking it out.
That's right.
Be on Pinterest.
Pinterest, you can be on freshpreserving.com checking out the new recipes, because I think Jessica mentioned the most important part. We've been crafting while we're making fresh, hot pepper jelly, right?
Right.
We haven't been watching it, we haven't been stirring the pot, haven't been looking at it, constantly checking and tending.
No.
We've been making arts and crafts.
Yeah.
We've been getting ready for the holiday season, right? Which is the beauty of the Jam and Jelly Maker.
Right. You
And
don't have to
it's-
worry.
We've had 17 minutes to do exactly what we wanted to do during that time.
Right.
And it looks like we can answer another question.
It's not even a question. It's a great comment. Look at this.
Oh, it's Jordan from Muncie says, I can't wait to make luminary jars with all my friends. Shout out to Muncie,
Yeah.
just down the road, right, which is great.
Well, that's where ball jars, that's where our lids and bands are still
Original
manufactured.
headquarters.
So,
We've got another question, Nancy from Lancaster, California. Other than the recipe book that came with the Fresh Tech, where can I find recipes to make?
well, great question. So we have the book that comes along with it, and then as well, you can go visit freshpreserving.com. And actually, there's a bar across the top of the page that says Jam Maker. And if you click on that, it'll give you information on how to use this, all the different recipes. It'll give you information. I think there's a video on there how to use it.
Yeah.
The warranty information, and then we have, what did you say, 18 new recipes? that we
18 new recipes.
18.
You'll also find a link on Brand Live up in the top right. There's a little paragraph, and you'll find a link that says click here for the crafts, and you'll also find a link for click here for recipes, which is all there. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Jessica is doing the pepper jelly is ready dance,
Yes.
Which is very exciting. And now comes just one more of the easy steps to make your jam and jelly in the automatic jam and jelly maker, and that is, now that we're done, first thing, we press cancel.
I'll let Chris handle this one. He's got longer arms.
We press
Great.
cancel. Number 2, we unplug the device, right? Because you can make all the jam and jelly you want with the automatic jam and jelly maker, but you got to give it 30 minutes to cool off in between cycles, right? It does get warm, right? It is boiling and tending and stirring this jam. It's working hard while you don't have to.
Right.
That means it needs a little bit of a rest, right?
It
So
does.
you'll have to wait 30 minutes between batches.
Right.
But that's okay, because with each batch, you're going to make 4 8-ounce jars
Right.
of jam or jelly.
Or,
Or if it's gifting season and you want to go a little smaller, excuse me, you can make 8 4-ounce jars
Yeah.
of jam and jelly, right? So these little guys are 8-ounce jars, and we'll fill them up.
I give him a hard time on that one.
Yeah,
so.
she does. She loves to make me do math. Now, we can enjoy jam and jelly from our automatic jam and jelly maker 3 different ways. Number 1, we can talk about fresh. Number 2, we can talk about freezer. And number 3, we can talk about water bath canning or canning. Right?
We can.
So let's talk about each one of those. So fresh, how do we enjoy jam and jelly fresh?
Well, certainly you don't want to eat it right out of here. It is fresh. Enjoy now. When we say enjoy now, we don't mean right this very minute. This one's tried it. Bad news bears.
Fresh, when it's straight out of the device, is extremely hot. Do not enjoy fresh as quickly as I have done in the past. Don't make that mistake.
Right. So what you can do is go ahead and you'll want to remove the stirrer before you do this, but you'll use a plastic spoon to measure out into a container, whatever size you want to use, the 4 ounce or the 8 ounce, either way would work. So you would go ahead and you want to actually preheat your jars, just because we don't want to take a risk of thermal shock. So hot jars, hot product in. You can heat your jars on your stovetop pretty simply into some water. So, or your dishwasher would work as well.
That's right.
So you would place the food into your jar, and then at that point you let it set for about 30 minutes before you put it in your refrigerator, at which time you have 3 weeks to enjoy it. So if you're anything like this one, and I'm sure his family and friends would probably help him,
That's right.
eat all 4 jars in 3 weeks. So you don't really have to worry about that. But if you have a holiday party coming up, or actually if you're going to have, better yet, have a party at your own home, make this like 30 minutes, well, an hour before everyone shows up. They're going to smell that aroma, whether you make the pepper jelly and pour it over the cream cheese and do that whole display, or if you're making the strawberry jam or a mixed berry jam. Some of those items, even hot, would be great over pound cake, over angel food cake. I mean, the possibility is this one likes ice cream. I mean, it's winter, but whatever. So,
Cheesecake.
oh my goodness, that'd be delicious.
Cheesecake topping.
Right, so you can do some other things besides putting it right in the jar, but once you're done, if you're not going to preserve it in other methods, you've got 3 weeks
Right.
to get in your tummy.
But let's talk about how to keep it a little bit longer. If we
Right.
want to keep it a little longer.
Right.
So let's talk about number 1, freezing.
Number 2.
Well, of the 2.
Oh, the 2, I get
Of
it
the 2
now.
left.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about freezing.
So you've got 2 options for freezing. We actually have our ball quilted crystal canning jars that we have here. So these are freezer safe.
That's right.
They have a straight side, so that kind of tells you that they are freezer safe. A jar with a shoulder and a neck are not. And all of our packaging on our jars actually have like a light blue
That's
tag
right.
on the bottom that will say freezer safe. So not only are they great for storage and canning, but you can go ahead and freeze as well. So 8 ounce, 4 ounce, 12 ounce jelly jars are all freezer safe. So you can fill this up. Again, you're going to want to let it set for about 30 minutes before you put it in your freezer. You just want to let it cool down. We don't want it to deal with thermal shock. That's no fun. So the other container is our ball EverSeal freezer jars. And these are new. We brought these out this spring.
Spring, that's right.
They're great because they have a fill line, so you know exactly where to fill these 2. Once you get the lid on, it just snaps down. They stack on each other, so they don't take up as much room in your freezer. My favorite part, again, dishwasher safe top rack, so that makes me very happy. And the great thing too, they have a clear top, so you can kind of see from the side and the top what's going on in your jar. So 2 different options for freezing, and once they're in your freezer, you have 1 year to use them. And then again, when you remove them, put them in your refrigerator, you have 3 weeks. So 3-week rule.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. So there are 2 options.
So before we get to the last and final, and my
Favorite.
personal favorite, and Jess's favorite, it sounds like, option, let's answer another question. What's the difference between jelly and jam when using the jam and jelly maker? Right?
Another great question.
It is a great question.
Great question. So the difference between jam and jelly, in a jelly you actually use fruit juice, and that's going to make a very consistent product. There's no chunks, it's very just jelly. If you're using the jam, you actually have chunks of berries. So if we were doing like a mixed berry like we did previously in the spring, you're going to taste those bits of the berries that are in there, and you'll see them as well, and it just makes like a thicker product. So that's just the difference. So our jelly recipes that we have included in our recipe booklet actually use store-bought juice, so you don't even have to go through the process of doing all your juicing and making your juice on your own, which can take a little time, and we're all about trying to make things as simple and quick and easy as possible while still having great, delicious food that you've made yourself.
That's
So that's kind of the 2 differences
Yeah.
on those.
And you can learn all about jam and jelly inside the Automatic Jam and Jelly Maker's recipe book, right? And if you order today, as a reminder, you get the free blue book. And this is all you ever wanted to know about making your own jams and jellies with all the wonderful fruits that you have in your garden,
Right.
at your farmer's market, or in your produce section of your grocery,
Right.
right? So lots of great ways to make jams and
publication.
jellies. Yep,
Great.
indeed.
So another question.
Another question, Aloma from Gadsden asks, do you have to use pectin with the jam and jelly maker?
You absolutely do need to use pectin. All of our recipes, we will always encourage everyone to follow them thoroughly. They've been tested USDA tested. They're good recipes that are always going to function in this unit. So the reason for pectin is that it's going to actually help you cook your jams and jellies quicker and not have to stand over your stove and get to that gelling point and do that process, so you get more of that fresh fruit flavor when you use a pectin product. So that's one of the beauties of this particular appliance, is that you can do your jams in 21, most of the jellies are around 25. So you don't have to cook it as long, and you get more of that flavor. So yes, we do recommend using the pectin, but we have two different pectins that you can use with this appliance, which is our classic flex batch pectin or our low no sugar flex batch pectin. So two different options to use.
That's right. Those things are hard to say.
They are.
And our ball pectin is great. It's naturally derived from apples, right? So it helps get that jelly and jam to that nice thick set that you like. And it really does save you a lot of time versus making it without pectin.
Right, and the flavor, that's my favorite part. It's delicious every time. So.
All right, so let's go back to what is the last way to enjoy, or let's call it keep, our jams and jellies out of the automatic jam and jelly maker. Because we talked about you can have it fresh, right, where you let it cool off for about 30 minutes, you put the lid on, you put it in the refrigerator.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Number 2, we talked about freezing it. There's a number of different jars that you get. Any jar that has straight walls, right, no shoulders. Don't.
A jar like this, when we talk about a shoulder, this is what we're referring to.
See the little bulge on the side?
Like a neck and then a shoulder. So you don't want to use a jar like this, ever.
Any ball jar that has straight sides and no shoulders is going to be safe to freeze in. And then, of course, finally, you have our plastic options, specifically designed for freezer. But if you have 10 minutes, what can you do in 10 minutes, Jess?
You can go ahead and do the water bath processing method, which, even though I don't have a lot of time, it's still my personal favorite. It's super simple. Once you have your water boiling, it takes 10 minutes. So it will take you 10 minutes to start cleaning this up and letting it cool down for your next batch and getting your berries or whatever you decide to make next ready. You have all this time, so why not go ahead and, we've got this great package deal here. It's actually right behind Chris if you want to grab that. Our Home Canning Discovery Kit. And it comes with pint jars, so this wouldn't be appropriate for this, but it comes with a bunch of recipes. But the great thing is it has this basket that's perfect, and it'll fit right in your stock pot that you probably already have at home, so you don't even need to have a large canner and a canning rack, especially since this only makes 4 8-ounce jars. It's kind of silly to put all that out and do all that work when you could just use this at retail. It's on the Fresh Preserving store. You can buy it there. The 4 jars fit right in. 10 minutes later, pull them out. You can leave them in the basket and let them cool for 12 to 24 hours, and that's enough time to let them cool and make sure that all the venting's done and that you get a good seal, and you're done. They can stay in your shelf for a year.
Then this is going in your pantry.
It is.
It's just that easy. And all you had to do was boil some water and put it in for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
You've made spaghetti, you can home can.
Right.
It's just that.
It's
that easy when you're talking jams and jellies.
Yeah, it's way easier than anyone probably thinks. It's super simple, and it's a great way. This way it's not taking up space in your freezer. You can have other things in there, and I like it in my pantry. And it's just great to grab and take over to friends and neighbors. If I'm going to visit one of my friends, I'll always take like a jar with me, because I already have it in there. I don't have to worry about keeping it cold or keeping it refrigerated, and then they know that they can trust it, because I always use new canning lids.
Well, let's talk about it. We actually got a question about that, is how long can I keep my canning lids? So for those existing canners out there versus our newbies, if you've got some canning lids in your pantry and you're not sure how old they are, you probably want to rotate your lid stock. About 2 years is as long as you want to keep those in the pantry, particularly because what you're talking about is sharing work that you put time and effort and love into with your family and friends, and you want to keep them happy, healthy, and safe, and fresh lids are the best way to do that.
I wouldn't go any other way, and we even talk about that in detail in our Fall Blue Book. So if you do make this purchase, you'll get a little more information on why it's such a big deal to us. So we always want to encourage safety, and all the recipes in the Blue Book are USDA tested and approved. They're going to be safe as long as you follow them and you follow the processing method and you use new lids. You're going to have a safe, wonderful product every time that you can just trust and feel good about giving to your family, giving to your friends, eating yourself. It's just the way to go.
Now, you know what I feel good about, right? We actually technically have our last combo jam project / arts and crafts project, and we posted this on our Facebook page the other day, and it's our cream cheese pepper jelly Christmas tree.
Right.
And so we made our pepper jelly, which is fabulous, and then we pre-cut our little Christmas tree, which is going to be hard to do because I put crackers on here, so I can't tip it up.
Just take them off.
I took them off. So you can see, you just take the brick of cream cheese.
I'll let you watch it pour.
I'm going to mobilize over
Just so you can get a better shot.
Can we see that? Yeah, so take the brick of cream cheese.
Not awkward at all.
Cut a diagonal. Yeah, that was a horribly awkward lip. Cut it in half, flip it, right? You're going to cut a little star out of a bell pepper, right? Easy, easy.
Right.
And then you're going to take your pepper jelly, and this is still fresh and warm, right? And you can just sprinkle it over. Oh, it's just going to add that festive
It's super cute.
green color.
And I know we had a question earlier and we never really thoroughly got to answer it, but the pepper jelly, always delicious on cream cheese. So if you have any holiday parties coming up, this is something that's really unique and interesting to bring.
Awesome.
And then people go crazy for it because everyone's kind of hesitant. Pepper jelly, it sounds kind of weird. It really does, and I was hesitant to even eat it the first time. But
People are blown away by this. Now, obviously ours here it hasn't set up all the way. You gotta let this set a little bit and it'll get that nice jelly consistency, but we wanted to kind of show you how this finished out. The other thing that you can do if you like it a little bit extra spicy, which I like a little spicy, is add some crushed red pepper, and that'll look like little Christmas ornaments,
yeah,
of course.
super cute.
on your
Ta-da.
product, right? So I'll show you one more time. And again, this didn't get us set all the way.
And we have a
But there
great
you
picture
have
on our
it.
Facebook page too.
Right.
So
Check it out on Facebook.com.
super simple. And that-
Facebook.com/ball canning.
So there you go. You can go to Ball Canning and Recipes on Facebook. You can go to Ball Canning on Pinterest.
That's right.
You can go to freshpreserving.com.
That's right.
Basically, we're everywhere.
We are everywhere, and again, it's a great community. It's really a wonderful resource. Not only the folks here that are help you with that, but all the folks throughout our community. They're so kind, so giving, so sharing, always willing to offer tips and advice. You should check it out. It's a great place to go. Facebook.com/ball canning. We've got a couple more last questions. Another one on pectin. It's the topic of the evening. So Helen from Columbus. Why do some recipes call for powder pectin and some for liquid pectin? Can they be used interchangeably?
We'll answer the latter question first. No, all of our pectins, they are not interchangeable. So if a recipe calls for a powder pectin, then you'll want to stick with the powder pectin. You'll find that actually we have a section in our Ball Blue Book about that. You can find a lot of information online as well about how pectins are not interchangeable. So if it calls for a powder pectin, you're going to want to go ahead and stick with that liquid. And some of our recipes too for like the liquid pectin, it'll ask for 2 pouches and some will ask for 1, and there's just so much variety, and you just want to stick with what we have. It's going to be tried and true and delicious and perfect every time if you just follow the recipe and just have at it.
That's right. All right, we've got one last question. We've got Chris from Loganville. What's the difference between jams and preserves? And then
And jellies. So we kind of hinted on this before. It all just varies based on the consistency. So your jelly is very, very, clear, and there's no chunks in it. It's just kind of there. It's very spreadable. Your jams and preserves are going to be a little chunkier and thicker, and some of it could be the ingredients that are used. And so there's a lot of detail because we can even go into like marmalades and different things too, which are also very well laid out in our Ball Blue Book.
That's right.
So you can kind of get a better idea of that. And we have tons of different recipes on freshpreserving.com for items other than what we can do in our jam and jelly maker. So that's always a great resource. Lots of information there. We have great videos too on YouTube.
That's right.
Totally
Check
forgot
it
about
out
that.
on
So
how to can, right?
Exactly.
Makes it feel like you're doing it with a friend.
Right.
Which is important.
So we're all friends here.
That's right. Okay, so that's all the time that we have for tonight. I would remind you one more time, automatic jam and jelly maker. You saw it. Took us 21 minutes to make fresh pepper jelly. The ingredients you choose, process the way you want to do it. You can enjoy it 3 ways: fresh, you can freeze it for later, or you can water bath can it. 21 minutes, 30 minutes for all of our recipes in the Jam and Jelly Maker book, right? Made by hand, made by you. It's wonderful. It's a time saver. $89.95 tonight on Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Regularly $99.95. We're going to get the free Blue Book if you go.
Every
And
canner's
then,
dream right there.
as a special bonus for your arts and crafts, go to freshpreservingstore.com. Again, just click through right below the page, and you will get free shipping on your quart jars.
Right.
So, from our friends and family here to your friends and family there, happy holidays. Thanks for stopping by.